John, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Melike.
How are you doing?
I'm good. And you?
Thank you. It's 9/11 today. It's been 12 years, but it is still unbelievable that all these things happened. And the stock exchanges all over New York, they had a silent, moment today at 9:25 a.m. at NYSE, and then soon 10:25 at Nasdaq. Everyone remembers. And what are your reflections on 9/11 for the 12th anniversary?
Well, Melike, I think today is obviously the first thing that comes to my mind is thinking about the families and the people who lost loved ones. And, for me, it's a personal tragedy as well. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. But I think as I was thinking about it this morning, one of the things that come to mind is we continue, and companies like Citigroup that I work for continue to support the families by helping out with scholarships and donations. And to me, that is really something that makes me proud that even 12 years later, we're still remembering our fellow colleagues and families.
And what has changed since that day? Because there are other threats right now, maybe more dangerous, maybe more unknown, right? Cyber threats.
Yeah.
What is your opinion about these other angles?
Yeah. Well, Melike, the threats are still there, but some are more prevalent than the others. And you're right, cyber threats are becoming increasingly more frequent upon financial institutions. They're becoming more increasing on our infrastructures, and particularly even today there are threats against the U.S. and various financial institutions and infrastructures. I think the faces behind cyber threats are the faces we don't know. The faces behind physical threats are still there. But yet, as Secretary Panetta said a year ago, we are absolutely worried about a cyber Pearl Harbor. So the cyber threat is very real, and it's something that we're paying a lot of attention to.
And we left this year. We're leaving this year. There's soon going to be December 2013, and we're going to look back and we're going to see we still live in a world with some fears. We had the Boston bombing. We had, of course, yesterday Obama spoke about the Syrian threat. How does, as an American also, I would like to ask you, how does an American view, does he feel safe or still threatened? There's going to be a retail space soon open up at the real World Trade Center location.
Yes.
How is everything going in terms of in their minds? And will they be able to move there? Is everyone still ready to move on?
Well, well, first of all, I think for the people who lost people, we always have to remember and honor those people. And as for, having retail space at the World Trade Center, I'm sure that the police commissioner has very complex plans in place to protect people. And if that space does open, obviously we don't want to be hindered by anybody who's threatening us.
Have you been there, by the way?
I have been downtown,
How do you like that site?
Well, I think the museum and the memorial is extremely beautiful. I think it's well done. And I'm certainly, very proud of it. And at the end of the day, I really think that, the protection that is going to be put in place will be adequate.
And going ahead, you also now head the Citigroup's Office of Emergency Management. You help the bank plan for and respond to emergencies in the 160 countries where you operate, including Turkey, right?
Yes, yes.
This is a big hat. And it brings lots of responsibility. How do you handle that? I mean, going forward, are we ready as the United States? Are we ready as the world to encounter all these threats?
Yeah. Citigroup works in over 160 countries and in many complex markets and environments. But at the end of the day, it comes down to basic preparedness. Everybody from our CEO down prepares and plans and practices our drills. Our cyber preparedness and our folks that monitor our infrastructures. And, we know that there are adversaries out there in each of these environments. However, our basic plans are in place, and we continue to practice those and maintain a very high level of preparedness with our company.
Politics follow economy, and economy follows politics. We have seen this last week, this week. The whole Syrian concern even caused in the heads of the analysts and economists, maybe Fed will stop the tapering of the bonds because next week on the 17th and 18th, FOMC meeting will take place, and the whole Wall Street is responding to it in green, 7-day. We've been seeing a rally. Is this rational? Is this realistic in your head?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know that that's something that I'm really qualified to react to, being in a crisis management role. However, the greener the better.
That's right. And also, again, I'm taking you back to maybe Obama's speech and all the whole the Syrian threat, but you are the person who would know that. Now that diplomacy is kind of successful, but what is the other scenario? If diplomacy fails, what happens?
Well, I think for me personally and for the company, we have to continue to maintain our vigilance in those markets that are surrounding Syria, and we have. And not only my company, but other companies and infrastructures and governments are doing the same. So, relative to what happens, whether it's a real threat or diplomatically we can get it resolved, we have to be prepared. And I think that those countries surrounding that and the markets that we're in, we're definitely in a position to be prepared to respond.
We started with today, 9/11. It's an important day, and I'm going to end it with today again. What is your agenda like for the rest of the day? And I wanted to tell you, what are the lessons that we learned? Are they really learned in New York City and in America?
Absolutely. I think that in America we are much better prepared. I think the last time that we met, we spoke about advanced levels of communications. We spoke about our people and our citizenry being much more well prepared. And even more important, Melike, is that our public-private partnerships have grown so strong that even though we could do better, but we have grown so strong that we have better capabilities to respond to incidents of such nature. And I think as we look at our adversaries, I think that we've become much stronger and a better community together. And as long as we can continue to build our intelligence gathering capacity, I think we're going to continue to be stronger and much better poised to respond to these types of threats.
I agree with you. I know we had some unfortunate days, but from my personal experience, I'm a runner as well. And all those garbage cans now are being highly detected. Nobody thought about it.
Yeah,
I remember interviewing the Deputy Prime Minister on that same day right here when the Boston bombs happened. What was your first reaction, John, that day?
Yeah, I think when we found out about the incident, obviously we had to immediately understand where our properties were for the company, but I generally like to react in terms of our people, accounting for our people, accounting for their safety, and making sure that we invoke the plans that we have in place. So I'm more reactionary in terms of handling the crisis versus reacting personally.
Thank you so much for coming. I would like to ask you if there is anything that you would like me to add or that I forgot to ask from your personal and also from your company's standpoint.
Yeah, I think that the company has really shown an enormous amount of support for the families, and I'm very grateful for that. They continue to donate for scholarships funds, rebuilding the museum. They've given millions of dollars, and Citigroup really, to me, stands out in terms of what they do to support the 9/11 effort. And it's a great company to work for.
How many scholarships, by the way?
They've given out over $11 million in scholarships.
$11 million.
Yeah,
and it's
and
totally
they
funded by the bank.
The bank has donated that, yes.
The bank has donated.
Yeah.
And also the funding to
the Freedom Fund, yes.
Freedom Fund.
Yeah.
And it still continues. And
absolutely,
this is a big need.
absolutely.
People lost their fathers, their mothers
absolutely.
in just one day.
Yeah, I mean,
this is very important.
This is a company that doesn't forget.
I read this morning in the AM, the day that New York City became your family.
Yeah.
And this we see, scholarships and funds, continued efforts. Thank you so much for coming, John.
Thank you, Melike.
Yes, it was a pleasure.
Thank you.